We kick off our fall coverage here on BACB Sports with a soccer clash between our two Birmingham schools, the Groves Falcons and the Seaholm Maples. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brad Fetters for BACB Sports, welcoming you inside the press box here at Seaholm High School as we get set to call the action. We start out first with the visitors from the Groves Falcons. They welcome in a brand new head coach in Paul Thomas. He inherits a fairly good squad that comes into play tonight with a 3-2-6 record. A lot of ties, including their last 4 contests. So something's going to have to give here tonight against their rivals from Seaholm. Andy Aubrey's now alongside their head coach, Paul Thomas.
Well, thank you, Brad. I'm here now with the Groves head coach, Paul Thomas. And, Paul, we're about to embark upon the crosstown rivalry, Seaholm Groves. First of all, let's talk about how you came to be the Groves coach this year.
Yeah, so I've lived in the community for about 8 years now. I did the girls for about 3 years, the varsity Groves girls team. But then I've been doing club soccer, and the job came up this summer. My sons are probably going to go to Groves, so I thought it would be a great opportunity just to get involved in the program and see what it was about.
Right. Between you and Manny, and he's got a son on JV, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. And Perkins is down there. This is very synergistic, we'll call it. Let's talk about the product on the field. You guys have your fair share of ties so far this year, Paul. Sum up the season for us a little bit.
Yeah, I think you've summed it up right there. A lot of ties, right? So it's been very up and down. We've had some fantastic performances. We've had some average performances. But overall, I've been pretty happy with the start in league play. I think we've had 1 tie and 1 win, and then obviously we play Seaholm tonight. So the objective is to be as competitive as we can in league play, and tonight's a really important game.
It sure is. So to that end, tell us a little bit about, kind of give us a peek behind the curtain. What's going to be your message to your team before you take the pitch?
The message is going to be very similar to what it's been the whole season. We need to be really organized and aggressive when we're defending. We want to defend from the front. We don't want to be on the back foot. So you're going to see us on the front foot a lot tonight, applying a lot of pressure. When we have the ball, we want to try and get to goal as quickly as we can and be as direct as we can. Matt Mellinger, who's our centre back. I think he's our leading goal scorer. So set pieces have been very, very important for us this year as well, and that's going to be another concentration, and I think a big part of the game tonight.
Okay. Well, we'll look for that, and we wish you the best of luck, and we'll wrap it up from down here for right now. We'll be back with Coach Perkins in a minute, and we'll send it back to Brad Fetters at this time.
All right, thank you so much, Coach and Andy. As for the Seaholm Maples, they come into play tonight perfect. 5-0-2 is their record. They're winners of 5 straight, so they're red hot, and they're playing tonight here on their home turf. They, too, welcome in a brand-new head coach, but it's someone with a very familiar name. That's head coach Greg Perkins, who makes the switch. He was coaching over at Birmingham Groves, is now the head coach at Birmingham Seaholm. So we'll see if there's an interesting dynamic perhaps here tonight with the head coaching situation. Greg Perkins is now alongside our very own Andy Aubrey.
All right, Brad, thanks again. We are down here now with Seaholm head coach Greg Perkins. You were Groves coach, Greg. Bring us up to speed. How did this happen?
So when I went to Groves, I was there for the boys that were there. A lot of them I coached at travel clubs, and kind of the same thing kind of happened. So the job came up at Seaholm, a new group came in, and I felt like it was the right time.
Any NIL deals, big money? I mean, assume you, well, never mind.
School soccer? No, I don't think so, no.
Right, gotcha. Tell us a little bit about the team you inherited then. Let's talk about your product on the pitch. What have you got that you're working with this year?
So I got a bunch of seniors that I like. I know from years past at travel clubs, and we've got a really good group of freshmen coming in, especially great sophomore class, kind of small junior class. So I'm thinking in the next few years it's going to be really good for us. I think we're starting to build something good, you know.
Yeah, man. Your record is outstanding to start the season. Give us a couple names, standouts that are working well for you.
So Sam Cheney, center forward, number 9, he's been unbelievable. In the midfield, Trip Gaffney playing as a 6. He's a really strong buffer for the center backs. Nate Hogler's one to watch as well. He plays center back or right back, but we got a whole lot. Yeah.
Well, scouting should not be a problem for this one. I would assume you know the opponent pretty well, and we wish you the best of luck. It's always great when these two get together, so you're well aware of the rivalry, and we'll be looking forward to it. So we'll wrap it up from down here right now, but tell you to to come right back because the start of this one is immediately following this message.
Welcome back to Seaholm High School. Let's meet tonight's goalkeepers. There's a look at Hugo Bonifant of Birmingham Groves in that highlighter yellow kit. Kind of looks like last night's Seahawks jersey. And on the opposite side of the pitch will be Joseph Farah.
They went with the
5-0-2, 4 goals against, 11 saves. More importantly, 3 shutouts on the season.
shutouts, and we got a lot of ties involved with some of these games that have been played so far by Seaholm.
There's a look at your captain, Sam Chaney.
Groves has the ties, 3, 2, and 6, right?
Yeah, a bunch of ties in the early parts of this season, including ties in their last 3. A 2-2 draw against Frankenmuth, a 1-1 draw against Notre Dame Prep, and a 2-2 tie with Flushing. That was in a recent tournament that they played in. Seaholm in those home maroon jerseys. Groves with their road whites. Seaholm going right to left across your monitors. That one kicked in deep. Miller tried to streak down the right-hand side, got cut off. Good through ball onto the foot of Chase Henderson. Henderson on this near side meets up there with Bertolini. Bertolini wearing number 19 in white.
And we're at that time of night, Brad, where the sun is setting just where the glare is off of the new press box windows, so we really can't see a thing. But we'll move it around. We'll figure it out. The sun will be down in a couple minutes, so I'm sure we'll be back in business.
Well, it's kind of playing a little bit of havoc with our cameras as well. I'm sure everyone in the live truck is making do, having to shadow those cameras and iris up. The old technical term.
Look at you. You must have been to some form of broadcasting school in your day. But I'm not down on sun. Don't get me wrong. I love it, and there's not much left this year. So
it is a picture-perfect night here in Birmingham. Oh, right onto the right foot. Look out. Covered up well. Bonifant sneaking out of that goal mouth to make the save. Isra, his defender, wasn't quite ready for that ground ball. We'll get another look at this first shot attempt off the foot. Kind of rolled in harmlessly, but it was a good through ball. Good idea offensively there for Seaholm.
And those can be tricky. You know, the goalies just got out there, and sure, they did their warm-ups, but they those balls get a little slippery, and they have a little English on them. He made a nice stop.
Yeah, can't recreate game conditions and warm-ups. I think that's safe to say.
Every sport. Yeah, that's true. The game speed picks up from practice as well as all of the warm-up activities that we witnessed down on the field beforehand, or the pitch, I should say.
Seaholm a perfect 3-0 here at home, including their most recent victory last week over East Lansing, 2-1, your final score in that one. And if you're a Seaholm Maple fan, you have to be thrilled at their defense through 7 games. They've only given up 4 goals. So just over a half a goal per game, while netting 13 goals on the season, which is nearly a 2-goal average. So Maples in a lot of low-scoring games to start out. Their most goals scored this season was a 5-1 victory here at home over North Farmington. 5 goals in soccer is really lighting it up. Tracking that ball down on the far side. Molo, he takes a spill, knocked down, no call. Refs allowing them to play on. Russell has it right in the center of the pitch. Good slide tackle, separates the forward from the ball, and now a late whistle comes in. And I don't think Greg Perkins appreciated the whistle. He would have much rather them play on, as we'll get another look at this slide tackle. Good, clean, makes contact with the soccer ball. And then the play was whistled dead as Seaholm had kind of broken out, so to speak, and that's what Coach Perkins was questioning our head referee on, is why'd you blow the whistle? Good crowd here tonight on a weeknight.
Yeah, no problem getting the away crowd over here.
The Forest.
Frankenmuth's a little further, but
The Forest, the Seaholm fan faithfuls. It was pajama night.
I get it. Now I get it, because I'm walking around, and you see pajamas in stores now. I think, I'm not sure where that ever came from. I'm not a big fan, maybe showing my age slightly, but when you're in the onesie Hello Kitty outfit at Myers at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I don't know. Maybe they don't have clothes. Maybe they live with pajamas. It's possible, I suppose. But, yeah, pajama night, they always have a theme, and it's been followed well this evening here.
A lot of the flock, which is the Grove student section, they're sporting the white look tonight to kind of match the road kits of the Falcons here tonight.
Yeah, and a couple white cowboy hats. Now, if you have a white cowboy hat, I mean, really, what better place to wear it than the soccer match?
Booted in deep to the offensive zone over the head of pretty much everyone, as that one will sail out of bounds. However, it was last touched by the Falcons. So an opportunity here on the offensive end now for the Maples, as we'll have a throw in. Far side of the pitch. It'll be Sam Chaney. And right in, and net keeper Hugo Bonifond. Sam Chaney, the leading goal scorer on the season for the Maples with 6. Chase Henderson, the nearest Seaholm player, with 3. Alex Basil leading all Seaholm forwards with shots with 12. Basil not afraid to kick it. Maples gearing up from deep in their own offensive zone, waiting for a trailing teammate to come in the form of Gaffney. Gaffney up ahead, down the right wing side, looking for the through ball. It doesn't make its way in. Defended well there by Groves. 7 minutes gone by. No score here. First half of play. So glad you decided to tune us in tonight. Our very first fall broadcast of the season. Plenty of action all season long here on BACB Sports. Brad Fetters alongside Andy Aubrey. Andy handling the pregame interviews. Nice job as always, Andy.
Oh, one of my favorite times of the broadcasting years, talking to the coaches. And we have a couple good ones here tonight. It's funny, some of these coaches really embrace that. Others are not so much. A little more deflection. They're always trying to get an assistant to take it over. No, I won't let them do that. You're the head man. Yeah, it's part of the responsibility, so come on. We'll make this easy. I throw a lot of softballs out there, you know.
Paul Thomas, the new man in charge at Birmingham Groves. Greg Perkins making that switch from Groves over to Seaholm. I'm trying to think. Are there any instances that you can think of, Andy, where a head coach left one rival and went to another?
In the history of our calling Birmingham
no,
athletics?
I'm just saying in the history of sports.
Oh, in sports? None that jump to mind. I mean, the NFL, there's a coaching carousel every year, but in terms of a rival like that, or like this, I should say, not so much.
I mean, Bo Schembelek earlier, I guess, was an Ohio guy. Eventually became head coach at Michigan.
Yeah, but he wasn't coaching at Ohio State. Was it Ohio University, right?
Miami.
Miami of Ohio, that's what it was, yep.
Far side cut off once again. So the Falcons flexing their muscles on the defensive end as Seaholm has kind of dictated plays, so to speak, in this sort of feeling out process here in the early parts of this first half. The pitch has kind of been tilted that way. Nothing to show for it yet. No real solid shot on goal yet. Playing keep away now with it. Bertolini tried to go around a defender. He's going to just toss this one in on this near side. Scans the offensive zone, flips one back, kicked in deep. Cut off there once again by the defender. Going to the far side. Drew Stice has it. Stice up ahead. Not much further as Molo was there to cut things off. Couple differences between professional soccer and high school soccer. They were looking for the through ball there once again. The clock will stop after goals. It will also stop during any sort of injury that occurs on the pitch. Once the clock hits 0, there will not be any sort of additional time. So once the clock hits 0, we are done with the half. And we will be done with regulation when the clock hits triple zeros during the second half of play. Regular season, there is no extra time. There is no overtime. We will end in a draw. We know the Falcons are well aware of that tie rule, that draw rule. They've been involved in quite a few ties. 6, in fact.
6 so far. They are piling them up at a record pace.
More than half of their games have ended in draws.
You didn't win and you didn't lose. Kind of like the NFL season this past weekend. Week 1, we had a tie and a near tie, right?
Groves. Their 3 victories on the season were Lakeland, have a victory over Bloomfield, and West Bloomfield. Their losses were to Sterling Heights and to Stony Creek. Seaholm always has that early season tilt against Brother Rice. This year was no different. That one was played over at Brother Rice. Ambrose Field, 1-1 draw between the Warriors and the Maples on that day. Meilinger has it. A few steps in front of the half line. Midfield stripe. Good touch there. But a turnover. Meilinger up ahead. Headed onto the foot now of Cole Erickson, who goes back. Door up ahead. Callum Wiggins with the flow. Bodies up his player. Cross just out of the reach of Drew Stites and out of bounds. Throw in on that far side.
And Wiggins with the big hair out there, number 23 for Groves. He's easy to spot. Looks like he might be maybe better suited for a Red Bull surfing competition, possibly. He can play, though. He's been around the ball quite a bit early.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of Carlos Valderrama, Colombian soccer player in the late 90s.
Wow. Look at you.
It's limited.
I love
I'll
it,
tell you that.
man. That's an awesome reference.
Soccer knowledge is limited, but when it comes out in a big
I
way.
was gonna say, you don't need to tell the people that. No, we understand. We're getting pretty good at this. We've seen a few matches at this point in our careers.
You can Google search Carlos Valderrama.
Oh, I
Colombian
believe
soccer
you.
player. Always nice to see head coach Manny Rodriguez of the Seaholm ladies soccer team. His son, a freshman and starter on the JV squad. He says, look out, his girls are going to be really good this year.
Yep, that's what he told us. We spoke with him before the match tonight, and he's pretty excited for his ladies team. They got a lot of seniors and so plenty of experience, and they've got a great coach.
Also saw head football coach Jim DeWald prior to the start of tonight's contest, and he was all smiles, and why not? The Seaholm Maple football team off to a perfect 3-0 start.
Yeah, Jim had quite a bounce in his step as he walked by us. He's got a little pep in his step there. He's happy with the way things have started off for their team this year.
That rivalry game with Groves will loom large in week 9. It's going to be the final game of the season, late October. Perfect time for a rivalry game.
Yep, and that one may really spell some positioning activity for both teams. Somebody may be trying to get into the playoffs, jockeying for position. The way things are starting for Seaholm, they're going to be in a pretty good position, it looks like. I was able to catch the Groves game versus Oxford, first game of the season. They took a tough loss. That was on Valley Sports, and that was a very entertaining game. So Groves, as always, also well coached with Coach Flaherty. They're going to be difficult to contend with, as always.
First substitution of the game, Noah Booth in for Seaholm. Endless substitutions. There's no limit to the substitutions in the high school game as well. Professional soccer, once you're subbed out, you remain out, no re-entry. Falcons with the throw-in. It's a deep one, and it's cut off and headed forward. It's across midfield. Nearly 17 minutes gone by, and that play is offside. That was really close on that far side, and the official on this side of the pitch put up the offside flag. Bennett Costello pleaded his case. He's not going to win that argument.
You win very few of those, as a matter of fact, once that call's been made.
That's probably one that the lineswoman's not going to change.
No, that one's done. That's a done deal.
Yeah, offside is offside 100% of the time when it's signaled. I mean, it's throw comes into Miller, one of the captains of this Grove squad. Matthew Meilinger, the other captain. Shove from behind. Referee's going to say, no, just play on, boys. No, I guess there was a whistle. Everyone kind of reacted like there wasn't a whistle, and then you pick up the soccer ball. Clear indication that there was. Two players come together at midfield. Maples trying to build up something from deep in their own zone. Cross gets headed down. Good defense. Both teams really displaying terrific defense in the early part of this. Ball goes to the far side. Hesitation. Strong left foot and sails wide.
Pretty good effort there. Just a little bit wide left.
First real scoring chance of the game.
Let's see what happens here. Big left foot. Just goes a little bit wide.
That was Noah Booth. Booth in those bright blue soccer cleats. Can't miss him out there. Turnover controlled by the Maples. Takeaway by Bertolini.
Look out.
Falcons sticking with a 4-2-4 look. Maples able to get back in time. Fans making some noise in the stands. Couple of the subs getting ready to check in. Mizell for Seaholm. Says Gary getting ready to come in for the Falcons. Look at Kelvin Meisel looking for his very first point of the season. Has 4 shots through the early part of the year. Making his 8th appearance on the season. Has made 1 start. Maples with a couple shots, neither of them really on goal. Falcons looking for their very first shot of the game.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier, Brad. This action has been tilted down in the Grove's end quite a bit. I think we've certainly noticed that over the years. These games tend to start out slow, and once a goal makes it through, it can open the floodgates to many more. But getting that first one is always key for momentum. And we have yet to see a very serious scoring opportunity.
Throw in on the far side. Take their time getting it in. Sam Chaney with a big toss into the box. Gonna be cleared out once again defensively by Groves. Applying a little bit of pressure and a push from behind. And that'll be a foul call against Groves. Get another look at it here. Send Kelvin Meisel down. Head coach Paul Thomas of Birmingham Groves venting some frustration to the head referee as well, as this free kick will take place directly in front of the Groves bench. Makes its way in, headed out defensively. .5 minutes remaining, first half of play, no score. Another look here at this free kick, made its way in and headed right back out nearly immediately.
Yeah, it's a lot of bodies jumping up, trying to stick their head in there, and it was not to be on that occasion.
Eimlinger will set things up from deep. Able to find Costello. Try to tap pass. Says Jari. Gets it right back to Costello. Has it taken off his foot. And just powered through, and Groves will kick it back to the goalkeeper, who was not allowed to pick that ball up. So he gladly kicked it free. A race for that loose ball. Thrown forward there by Seaholm. Wiggins on the far side. Tiptoes the line, kept it in, goes after it. Make its way all the way to the midfield stripe. No call. Ref says play on.
I like it. Let him play.
Cleared all the way out. No dangerous looking plays. That one finally
Oof.
bounces its way into the box, and perhaps a little bit of a forearm to the back. Says Jari to go down.
And he's
We'll get
getting up
another look at it.
slowly. I don't know what happens to him here.
Yeah, a little bit of a bump there.
He ran into a wall.
Nicholas Dorer.
Now he's not feeling too good. He took a shot. I mean, he went down and might have got the wind knocked out of him. But he took a pretty big hit. And landed on that ever so scratchy artificial turf. Let's see it again here. He comes in full speed and just takes a shoulder and lands flat on his head. He's still out there, though. Oof. Intensity picking up, Brad.
Yeah, that feeling out process that we talk about has gone away quickly.
Yeah, and that has been the pattern of these games for the most part. They start out slow and end up with a bang, and this first half looks like it's going to be no exception.
Bonifant will just gladly kick that into his visitors' bench for throw-in. Get it in quickly. Well, and see, and that's the problem. You say you like letting them play on, but it also opens you up for some of that physical play. These players are going to try to get away with as much as possible, kind of toe the line for as long as they can. So that's quite the catch-22 if you're an official. How much do you let them get away with in the early parts of the game? Because you don't want to get too, whistle heavy.
No, there is that fine line. You got to walk that tightrope about not letting too much go and letting them play on. I get that, but I think the fans would probably choose the side of letting them play for the most part, unless it's your son who's landing hard on the turf from a shoulder. I guess that might be a time to blow the whistle, but we really haven't seen much of that yet. Couple incidents isolated, but it is a rivalry game. Every player's aware of it.
4 straight home games here in the month of September for the Maples, as this is game 2 of 4. They have home contests coming up with Bloomfield Hills and West Bloomfield. It'll be the second meeting between Birmingham and Bloomfield Hills. Seaholm, as we mentioned, already a 2-0 victory over Bloomfield Hills. The Blackhawks.
The Blackhawks, right in the shadow of our studios.
Headed forward, look out. Wiggins was the Falcon nearest to that ball. Couldn't play it. Two teams trade some headers, and now Stice on the far side will kick it ahead. A little back tap at the back of the foot. That was some fancy footwork there by Noah Booth. Using those blue kicks to his advantage.
I was watching some of the JV game earlier this evening before this one, and Groves looks like they have quite a bit of talent themselves on their JV squad, so that'll be an interesting watch for the next couple of years until they get up to the varsity level, because they had a couple absolute ball wizards out there with the ball handling and the dribbling and so forth. So Bears watching, I'm sure. Groves finally getting a little pressured.
Seaholm has a little bit of, I'd say, a size advantage. They have some really big dudes.
Yeah, I noticed that during warm-ups as well.
Just under 11 minutes remaining first half of play. Falcons looking for their first shot on goal. Joseph Farah has not been busy, but an opportunity here for the Falcons. It'll come via a throw-in. It will not be a corner. Caden Misra will put it in play. Long toss into the box, headed around and wide. Ooh, dangerous.
Yeah, it was hard to tell with that construction work going on back there. Tough to see where that one went. Whoa, that was a lot closer than what originally it looked like.
Farah kind of got bent up. It's physical in that goal crease.
It's a tough game. It's a beautiful game. You going to the World Cup in Qatar?
No, but it's coming up in November, December, right?
Yep, very soon.
They pushed it back to our winter to try to accommodate the very dangerously high temperatures in the Middle East.
Haven't seen who's favored. I know Germany's always a big factor.
Well, you got to think the usual suspects will be around. Germany, Brazil.
Right, yeah. Argentina, maybe?
Yep, Argentina's always good.
England likes to think they're good. They've had their share of success on the pitch in the World Cup.
Yeah, they have the familiar phrase, it's coming home. Bertolini tried to put his defender in the spin cycle. It didn't quite work out for him. I'll be rooting for Germany and Belgium.
Okay.
That's where my ancestors are from, so I'll give those two countries a root. Well, you gotta, the United States made it, so we gotta include them, right?
I guess I'd say we should probably root for them. Well,
There's a shot on goal.
I'm looking at them now, but there's too many teams. We won't list them all, but like you said, the usual suspects are in there.
Spain's usually pretty good.
Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Sweden's in there, Greece, Belgium, Wales, Czech Republic, Germany, Romania.
It's a wide open field is what you're saying.
Yeah. They haven't narrowed it down quite yet.
Nah, it's offside. Second time Bennett Costello on that far side is throwing his hands up, and Doesn't quite understand how he's been offside here twice tonight.
How about Liechtenstein? There's maybe your dark horse.
Big time soccer power.
Or San Marino. It's about the size of Lathrop Village, I think. I don't know how, but they're in there, so let's see how they do.
Takeaway. Potential here. 4-on-2 if they can hurry. And a nice job getting back once again. Charles Glazier got 1 point on the season. Does Mr. Glazier an assist? How about that? United States versus England. The day after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That's going to be must-see TV.
That's a big one. Black Friday with the World Cup. So you going to go shopping or are you going to watch soccer?
Pass up ahead to Hathaway. Little kick shot. Whoa, that was pretty. Good attempt by Hathaway. Robert Hathaway, 5 assists on the season. Bonifant making the save as we get another look at it. Kind of sprawling to the turf. Got a lot on that shot.
Yeah, it was tough to see if that was actually on goal. It was a very nice effort, however.
Jostling for position along this near side. Taken down from behind. Keep the possession with Groves. Under 5 minutes remaining in the opening half of play.
Physicality picking up slightly, nothing egregious yet. But if this match continues at 0-0 too much further into the second half, we'll see that them push the envelope a little bit more, get that advantage.
Jari, who took that hard spill a few minutes ago. Really nice crowd here.
We have a great crowd. You're right. Definitely. We have quite a crowd running back and forth on the aluminum of the press box behind us, too,
Yes,
tonight.
you noticed that as well, huh?
We got ding-dong ditched a couple times in the form of knocking and running, by the way. So
Shocking how much this press box wiggles.
it moves a little, doesn't it? Should we be concerned?
I was going to say, it was slightly frightening.
I think they built that in.
Perhaps.
I hope. We got, well, Aaron Frank's in the booth next to us, so if we go down, we're all going down.
The additions to the athletic facility. Very impressive. Construction going on, obviously. Oh, big collision. Oh, boy. Trip Gaffney not going to get away with that one. We'll get another look at it. The collision right here. Gaffney comes in, takes out Bloom Alexander. Alexander appears to be okay. Possession staying with Groves. 2.5 minutes remaining first half. High-scoring JV game.
Yeah, we saw some goals there. I am looking forward to chatting Aaron Frank up at halftime, though, to have our annual discussion about what we can do to tweak the rules of soccer for everyone's benefit.
It's funny how you guys haven't found any sort of change yet. I mean,
Well, none of that have been instituted.
FIFA hasn't considered any of them?
Not yet, but I have hopes that that will change. They keep. I have not gotten a return email. We'll put it that way. Not yet, at least. I'm sure they're probably just deliberating on some of the thoughts I've had.
Sure, yes. And Auburn Hills, Michigan man has sent his annual email.
It's him again, they keep saying. So I guess if it bounces back an undeliverable, that means they've blocked me. Is that how it would work? Probably.
Safe to say.
Oh,
yes, that is
shoot.
correct.
That figures. Oh, gosh. All right. Too bad. They're lost.
Exactly 1 minute now remaining. Now Gaffney on the receiving end of some of that physical play. This is setting up for an interesting second half of play. We'll see if both teams just kind of lay it all on the line. Little cross over the end line. More than likely, that will do it. Grove's going to be in no hurry to put this ball in play, and both teams will head to their respective spots on the pitch to talk things over during the halftime break as the clock hits triple zeros. One half of soccer in the books. We are scoreless, 0-0. We'll take a quick break here on BACB Sports. But when we come back, the start of the second half of play.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. If making my detox public is gonna help somebody, I'm all for it.
Welcome back to Seaholm High School. Brad Fetters alongside Andy Aubrey, nearly set to go for the second half of play. 0-0 our score through 40 minutes. Something's going to have to give here in the second half.
Eventually, or there's going to be another tie, which there is at this moment. We're halfway to that. We'd like to see some scoring, but at the same time, you can't knock a tight game. That's what we've got. So both sides feel like they have a great shot, and we're about to find out where that goes as the second half's about to begin.
Falcons will have the opening possession of this second half. Caleb Wiggins will put the ball in play, and he drives one back to his defenders, and we are good to go. Two teams will trade ends, so the Falcons will be going right to left.
And I'm going to only assume that Coach Thomas had a stern talking to with his team, because Groves has shown very little offensive pressure in this one. So we'll see if they're able to turn it up, and that, of course, is in a direct proportion to the defensive effort by Seaholm. So it's been a struggle so far, but they're fresh, they're rested, they've had some hydration, and they're ready to go.
This is a Grove squad that is coming off a OAA a white league title a season ago. They were also able to capture the district championship last year with a 2-1 win over Livonia Stevenson. So Falcons all kinds of success last season, obviously replacing quite a bit from last year's squad, but it really settled in to today's ball game. 0-0 our score. I feel like the Maples kind of dictated play through the first half of that first half, and the Falcons kind of slowly ground their way into it.
Yeah, it became a little bit more of a grinding effort, just sort of a slow and plodding style of play for the second half of the first half, as you mentioned. Nothing happened at all in that first maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Most of that pressure was leveled, if there was any, by Seaholm. So you wonder with a lot of that energy expended early how that plays out later in the game. But so far, more push and pull. It's a tug of war.
Throwing comes in from off your screen. Chipped up and out directly into the Seaholm bench. Coach Manny Rodriguez patrolling those sidelines. Boy, that's kind of a nice little option to have, huh?
Yeah, that's a sharp soccer mind to have on the staff. And, you know, Manny takes title to I guess almost ownership to somewhat of the entire program here at Seaholm. But he's a guy who knows his way around the pitch as well as a golf course.
And Wiggins offside.
Wow. Okay, we had almost a very real opportunity there.
Kind of a bang-bang play and ruled offside immediately. Over the end line. 3 minutes gone by. Second half of play now. 0-0 your score. Take another look here, Andy, if we can, at this offside play. And you be the judge. Yeah, it looks like Wiggins has definitely got it behind the last line of defense.
Yeah, he was. So they made the right call on that one. These referees have been on it tonight.
Up ahead, this play is on. Onside and a goal for the Falcons, number 10, Mario Bloom. Alexander, second goal of the season.
And that's what we talked about, Brad. That's the offensive force they needed to put forth here as this second half begins. They didn't have much of that in the first half, but they draw first blood here. We'll take another look at it. Just a really nice, he couldn't afford to wait one more second before nudging it ahead, and it finds the back of the net. Beautiful goal, and Groves takes the 1-0 lead.
Takes the tumble. What puts it in the back of the net is Joseph Farah watched that one slide between his legs and into the back of the net. Got to be a helpless feeling for a netminder to watch that one rolling towards the end line.
Yeah, he sold out. He did what he thought he had to do to make the play, but it was not quite enough. And like you say, that's he could only turn around and watch it roll. Now incredibly important upon Seaholm to try and tie this one up, because in a game like this, it's so tightly contested. You know that a 2-goal lead could be very difficult to come back from. So we'll watch and see now how Seaholm approaches these next few important minutes.
So the 4-minute mark of the second half, we get our first goal of the game. Maples, who have been seemingly the aggressor here tonight, are going to have to play a little catch-up opportunity there. And too much bend on that ball.
And you made an observation earlier, Brad, about the size of these teams, and at least down on pitch level, it looked like Seaholm had larger players, but you know, the bigger guys doesn't always mean everything.
Trip Gaffney slammed the Falcon to the turf, and he's going to get a yellow card for it. He's going to have to come off the pitch.
Well, he's an aggressive player. We saw him earlier in this game where he was making his presence felt, we'll say. But at this moment, he will be out of action briefly.
And nearly made its way all the way to the goal, and oh boy, opportunity starting to pile up now for Groves. Booth, near side. Onto the feet of Sam Chaney. Chaney, a very dangerous goal scorer for the Maples. As this one screeches over the end line, and decision now, whose ball is it going to be? Appears it might be a corner kick coming up for the Maples.
And Coach Thomas made an interesting comment during my pregame interview with him where he said, we like to defend from ahead. I kind of like that, you know, whether that's on the pitch during a play or on the scoreboard, you have to like the idea of defending from ahead. Doing anything from ahead, hopefully. Oh.
Over top of everyone and out of bounds. Timeout called. Official going to bring a couple players together, and they're going to talk things over. Very stern warning, I assume. Pull those two players away from everyone. Nicholas Dorr, Bennett Costello.
Costello putting his hands up. Hey, what? I didn't do anything. But that was obviously a calling onto the carpet. Literally, this is a artificial service, but they want to just keep the emotions in check.
Head referee also going to talk to the far side linesman, kind of clue him in on what's taking place.
Can you read lips?
No, unfortunately, I can't.
I think the tone of the body language was, all right, guys, let's play some soccer and keep the rest of it out of it.
Crosser headed down. Not out, though. Look out. Opportunity. High pop shot. Comes onto the right foot. Sent wide. Pete Hogler. Opportunity once again. Majority of Seaholm's shots have sailed wide. They haven't been able to get much on net, as we'll get another look at this opportunity by Hogler, sailing just wide right of the net. doing a nice job keeping it inbounds on that far side. They finally turn it over now to Groves. Bertolini will throw it in. Nope, he's going to defer. He's going to allow his captain, Matthew Meilinger, to take it. 9 minutes gone by, second half of play. Falcons striking first. Mario Bloom Alexander, his second goal of the season, has given Groves a 1-0 lead. Falcon fans getting a little restless in the stands.
Well, it does seem like their guys have landed on the turf more frequently. Let's see what happens and how this one goes.
Little hip check.
Yeah, it's no doubt that Seaholm has been more the physical aggressor in this one.
And that was Trip Gaffney again. Mr. Gaffney has been involved in many of the physical plays here tonight.
Yeah, he's not one to shy away from physical contact, but in fact, he's one to initiate it.
Yeah, he's got the yellow card tonight.
He doesn't want any more of those.
No, get your second yellow, it equals a red. You have to sit the remaining portion of this game, and more importantly, would put Seaholm a man down.
And not just a man, but this guy's been really all around the ball tonight, so he would be a big loss for them if he had to sit.
Maury Miller bends it in. And harmlessly sails wide once again. Boy, you even got people up on the grassy knoll behind the net there.
The grassy knoll, yes. They are. They're out there. There's been a lot of activity around the campus this evening. At a Little League football practice going on over in the outfield of the baseball field, and
there was absolutely pure chaos on this field during halftime. I don't know, Andy, did you happen to quite understand what was going on out there?
no, and I was hoping to have a word with Aaron Frank at halftime just to chat him up, sort of get caught up on all things Seaholm athletics while we're in his building, but he was actually down there on the field trying to herd everyone off of it so they could start the second half of this game. But there had to be, what do you think, a couple hundred kids out there?
Yep, multiple soccer balls and just
cartwheels and a couple footballs, playing some toss. I didn't see a frisbee. Whatever happened to frisbee?
Maple players slow to get up. That's Noah Booth.
Well, this is about the time, maybe 20 minutes left. You start seeing players with hands on the hips and taking a little extra time to get up off the turf when they go down. They've run a lot already.
Relatively warm night. Kick coming up here for the Maples. Chase Henderson going to put it in play. It's a low line driving kick and cleared out by the Falcons. Ooh, that was a dangerous looking play. Kind of a line shot right into the box. Changing directions. Kicks it forward. This one, see if they're able to keep it in bounds. They will. And Seaholm got back and pushed it out. So they'll stay with the Falcons deep in their own offensive zone. Says Jari. We'll defer.
And you talk about how tired these guys get, and we've thrown this statistic out in the past, but a soccer player can run anywhere from 7 to 10 miles during one game. And they estimate that a goalkeeper can actually run 2 miles.
Look out! Farah kind of crept out, and I don't know if he tried to punch this ball and missed, but it got behind him. We'll get another look at it. This will be a clean look. Nice job by our truck. Farah wiping the sweat off the brow. He knows he dodged one there.
And that's director Steve Rhoda out there tonight pushing all the right buttons.
Another opportunity off the crossbar.
Hit the crossbar, yep. Yes. Grove's buzzing all around that Seaholm goal at this point. And the Maples need to be careful. Like I mentioned earlier, if they go down 2, the way the complexion of this game is developed, it's going to be a long, hard road to come back from even 2 goals. Let's see this last opportunity. Boink, right off the top of that crossbar. And harmlessly away it bounced. But Groves has definitely got that juice going here. Second half.
You almost get the sense that Seaholm's in a very dangerous part of the soccer game. Not only are they trailing 1-0, but they're giving up the better of the opportunities.
Yeah. Yes, they are. And you have to wonder if the amount of energy they expended early in this one, where they just seemed to force the play for the first 20 minutes solidly, doesn't come back to sort of bite you a little later. It's a long game. That 7 to 10 miles takes a toll on the legs, and there's something to be said for pacing yourself too.
Maples looking for the equalizer on offense. Good touch. And swept up nicely there by Bonifant. Thumbs up. Why not? One goal that the Falcons have here tonight is over the season average of which Seaholm gives up per game. Bit of an anomaly for them to even be scored on. Offside the call. Trying to urge their squad on.
It seems like this entire second half, Seaholm has had a couple breakaways. The Groves defense has clamped down when they've had to here to protect their 1-goal lead. But the opportunities have seemed to veer off right or left for Seaholm here, and they're going to get some fresh blood in the game. That's number 18. Grooms Lee, Devin Grooms Lee checks in for the Maples. A lot of activity out front, but there's just too many bodies out there.
I feel like the Falcons know that 1 goal might not be enough here tonight.
Well, you hate to have to rely on just 1 goal. That's a tenuous position to place yourself in. There's no. Yeah, you want to defend it, but you'd like to try and keep the pressure on they had offensively when they came out of halftime. Meanwhile, Seaholm's got to do something. They got to turn up the intensity on their offensive side.
Throw-in was a bit awkward. Sure. Player that threw that ball in, but he took a bit of a spill, and he's going to check out his shoe, and he kind of appears to be hobbling just a little bit. He's going to try to run this off. Looks like it was Sam Chaney that threw that ball in.
Ooh.
19 minutes gone by, second half of play. Get another look at this collision. Both players tangling up. If I'm the Falcons, I'm going to be real deliberate here by getting this ball in play. I'm going to take my time.
Don't you think it's a little early to start killing the clock? I mean, that can be dangerous. We've seen that backfire before, Brad. Some of these games over the years where maybe another 6-8 minutes, you start thinking that way. Certainly, if there's a factor of fatigue setting in, you want to maybe milk that clock a little more, give yourself some more breathing time. But that has definitely been a strategy that's not worked so well in the past. So we'll see.
Game of soccer, it's called parking the bus, Andy. You park the bus back there and just play defense. Pitch forward. Look at that. Two athletes just going full blast after the loose ball, and say it was out of bounds on the far side.
Say after all that, it still went out. But we got a tense one here. The scoring may be low, but this is still anyone's match, so you're starting to feel that nervousness possibly on both sides.
Max Sharon into the game. The Falcons. Max was my source of pronunciations tonight.
Yeah, we like to confirm those pronunciations. We still mess them up occasionally, so we apologize if that's been the case with you, your son, anybody involved here. We don't mean to butcher anybody's name purposely, but we do our best.
Like, it's awfully difficult during swim meets.
Swim meets are tough.
When you're talking about hundreds of athletes.
Yeah. There'll still never be anything like calling that track meet.
One and done when it came to track and field.
Yeah, we cried uncle. That was
an experiment that went horribly, horribly wrong.
Well, trying to being down on the track, trying to feed information up to the press box to you was no picnic either, but at least I was down there and I was talking to ladies with clipboards. You poor guy, you were up here and just trying to make sense of it all. There was hundreds, literally, if not more, of people just milling around on the field or in the track.
That looked fairly clean. I don't know. We're going to get a stoppage. I don't know, Andy. Close door.
Kevin says, Gary, he's not convinced of that call either.
It was a yellow card.
Let's see what happens. Uh-oh. Well. Okay. Nicholas Dorr.
At least in swim meets, they give you lane assignments. It's a free-for-all during track and field.
Yeah, plus, even though it started out innocently enough, but then they would switch, and he's trying to figure it all out. Well, I think was there multiple schools there that day? Or was it just the two?
I think there's just the two.
Yeah, I think it was two.
It didn't matter much.
All I could say is I know having my son run for Shrine for a couple of years, and we would go to these meets where there'd be like 20 schools at some, Divine Child or out in Ann Arbor or somewhere, and it was just school bus after school bus, students, parents, grandparents, kids, dogs. It was the cast of thousands trying to find your kid, and when he was running was a minor miracle.
17 minutes left in regulation. Falcons in front, 1-0. Mario Bloom Alexander, the lone goal scorer here tonight. Oh, change of direction. Look out. Stopping on a dime. Miller has it. Changes direction again.
Ooh.
Takes a spill, and we're going to get another foul call. Well, hold on a second. Now comes, where did this penalty occur? And they're going to say it occurred in the box. So this will be a penalty kick. Maury Miller's going to take it.
Well, this would be that all-important second goal for Groves we've been talking about. And if this goes in, it's going to be a long, hard road back for Seaholm. So they got to hope for the big, big save here.
Joseph Farah, your netminder, going to give the crossbar a little boink. Here we go. Miller. 4 goals on the season. Give him 5. It's a goal for the Falcons via the penalty kick and a 2-0 lead.
Well, this gives the Groves faithful a little bit of breathing room now with 16:23 left to go in the second half. And that's a big one. That is a big one. And oh, what a win this would be for the Falcons to march into their crosstown rivals building and steal one, which they're on the verge of doing. It's a nice fake. Finds the right side of the net. And Farah went right. The ball went left on him. So we'll take one more look at it. Just like you draw it up. So back to live action.
The captain. 5th goal of the season ties Matthew Meilinger now for the goal lead. Penalty occurring in the penalty area, resulting in the penalty kick. Some aggressive play tonight for the Maples, coming back to bite them. A couple yellow cards, and now the big penalty that resulted directly in a goal, and a huge insurance goal for the Falcons.
Yeah, this allows them to play just a little more looser and freer, I guess. And you're able to know you've got those 2 goals in your hip pocket, and this time starting to melt away. It's going to be tough for Seaholm. It's been a very difficult defensive battle for both sides.
The 2 goals that the Maples have given up here tonight, the most goals they've given up all season. Four separate occasions this year, they've given up 1 goal. Opportunity here for head coach Paul Thomas to win his very first rivalry game. Are we doing a player of the game interview? Multiple subs checking in now for Seaholm, including Kelvin Mizell, Chase Henderson as well. Lee and Noah Booth checking out. Fighting through some contact there. Groves will look to settle it. A little bit of solo work taking place there.
It was pretty good.
Bennett Costello had the ball on his knee for a while. Sack.
I was just going to say, that brought hacky sack right back to me. I was suddenly standing on my front lawn at Central Michigan in the 80s in a intense game of hacky sack when I should have been studying. I was studying. I was studying the game of hacky sack.
Oh, another collision, this time directly in front of the Seaholm bench. Neither player looks worse for wear. Drew Stice taking the brunt of that blow. Another look at it.
This one is a little more innocuous. Well, you're going to have that. That's probably no worse than some of the others we've seen tonight. Let's take another look.
So you want to be a soccer player.
You're right. Yeah. You can be, as long as you don't mind a few scrapes, scratches, burns.
Clock is stopped.
I was watching the rugby championships the other day. Now, you want to talk some violence without pads? Holy cow.
Big curving boot. Seaholm looking to settle this down. Looking to get on the scoreboard in desperate need of a goal. Trailing by 2. Just 13 minutes remaining in the second half. Seaholm putting their perfect record 5-0-2 on the line here tonight.
And you would probably think Groves would be perfectly content with just sort of lazing around out there until this last 12 and 25 and change come back and disappear off that clock. They've got all the goals they need, really, it would appear at the moment.
Play was offside. Fire officials signaled it. Maple's just going to want to quickly get this thing going.
Yeah, on the other hand, they've got to be very judicious with any opportunities they've got coming their way and try and manufacture a few as well. I think one of the changes I would institute would be make the ball the same color as the goalie's uniform, because that ball is just like a dark gray, and it would be a little more visible. They sell them, I know they do. I've been to Dunham's. I see what's out there. But a bright orange or yellow ball, or how about white even? Something you can see under these lights.
There's a good look at our official ball tonight. Not a lot of room for the Maples to operate here tonight. That one goes skipping underneath those far side bleachers and finally back out. Good crossover. Hogler inside. And one touch and nothing more. Really impressive stuff in the second half by the Falcons.
They came out a different team. They really did. And I'm looking forward to having a chat with someone down there afterwards to find out just what was said at halftime, because they have shown a sense of urgency that just wasn't there in the first half.
And that would have been offside, and it will be offside. Exactly 10 minutes left to go. Seaholm needs 2 in order to come up with a tie here. We've seen some wacky things in these rivalry games between the two squads. Last-second goals.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not over yet. There's still 9 minutes and 40 seconds left to play. And if you get one, if you're Seaholm, suddenly things tighten up considerably and mistakes are made. Breakaways happen. Funny bounces happen. So they've got to get that one to cut it to 1, though, first.
gets back and will just pick up that ground ball, slides one over to his left-hand side. Maples trailing by 2. 2-0 your score. Mario Bloom Alexander opened the scoring 4 minutes into the second half, and then it was Maury Miller who added on a penalty kick goal, and boy, oh boy. Now's not the time to be tying your shoe, is it?
Well, it is if it's untied. You don't want to fall. You're trying to come back here.
Bloom Alexander and Miller, your 2 goal scorers tonight for the Falcons.
Maybe they should go with the Velcro.
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense.
You know.
Even the professional game, that clock just rolls, man. It just tick, 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 tick. According to Steve Rhoda in the truck, he says most soccer shoes nowadays don't have Velcro or laces or slip-on.
How about that?
You learn something new every day.
I consider him an authority on all things athletic footwear. So then I'll go with that. But these players haven't got the memo because some of them look to me. Now we got to get some close-ups on these shoes. Now you got me curious, Steve.
Well, those definitely have laces.
Those do.
Those
don't. And that makes sense. High tops, I'm sure a good sturdy elastic gets it done, and then you don't have to worry about tying your shoe with 7 minutes left when you're trying to come back.
Ooh, this plays on. Race for that loose ball. Farrah's dropping back in net, and it's over his head and into the back. 3-0 Falcons. Miller's second of the night. His 6th of the season, and he waves bye-bye.
Yeah, you would think that's going to do it for Groves. The 3rd goal here now. This is just an unbelievable effort and pure speed down the left side, and he gets the left boot into it and just sails up into the right corner of the net. So see it here. Let's take another look. He outraces everybody.
Left-footed.
Just
Upper
beautiful.
90. Whoa, picking a spot.
Yeah. That was a picture-perfect moment for this evening, and that's probably going to do it now for Groves. They've got just over 7 minutes to kill off here, and the road is a very, very steep incline for Seaholm.
And I think we have a pretty good favorite now for BACB Sports Player of the Game. When you score 2 goals in the game of soccer, you are considered big time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Maury Miller has done tonight. Goals number 5 and 6 on the season.
Yeah, he's going to sleep well tonight, or maybe he won't. He'll be too excited with that heart racing because we may just have a word with him afterwards to talk about some of these goals. But he obviously ate a good breakfast and got a lot of rest last night or something because he's played an outstanding game and it's been the scoring star for the Falcons.
Doesn't have the game winner. That belongs to Mario Blum Alexander, but Miller has been phenomenal. Ball comes out to Hogler. Maintains possession, left-footed, covered up on the double team. Falcons have been really phenomenal tonight defensively.
Yeah, just too many white jerseys out in front of that goal. That has been the case the entire second half. Seaholm has really had nothing going at all. They've tried to get close, but really not that close because it's been all Groves.
At Mario Alexander, our first goal scorer of the night. It was kind of an odd angle. So he was kind of falling to the turf. Frustration setting in for the Maples here tonight.
Yeah, heads down. They're kind of trudging back down the pitch now. And meanwhile, the Falcons are bouncing around like they have a 3-goal lead.
Maples will just clear this one out all the way to midfield. Molo gets cut off. Hogler up ahead. Just out of the reach of Erickson. It was just a little bit behind him. Falcons couldn't keep that one in. Complete performance tonight by the Falcons. Back to the drawing board for the Maples. As we mentioned, Bloomfield Hills and West Bloomfield loom their next 2 games. The month of September ends on the road with North Farmington before returning home to take on Royal Oak, and then back on the road to take on Troy. As for the Falcons, they will match up their next 2 games on the road against Country Day and against Royal Oak. Those are the next 2. And then September ends with home contests against Ferndale and North Farmington.
Groves has a good team. You wonder about all those ties and think that, be curious to know how close they were to pulling a couple of those out. But this win gives them a big boost. This is a momentum builder for your team to come into enemy territory, as it were, and knock off a similarly good team. So, sure, Coach Thomas is going to be quite thrilled with the effort here tonight.
Yeah, because they didn't just win.
No.
They
no.
won big.
This is a convincing victory. And, they, even though you'd say Seaholm forced the issue a little bit in the first half, give Groves credit. They kept him off the scoreboard. It was still 0-0 at halftime. So, that's a boost in and of itself. And then to just turn it up offensively the way they've done in this second half is very impressive, and it's definitely something to hang your hat on moving forward with the season.
Charles Glazier is going to take this corner kick, going to fire it in from this near side, hugging the near side post. It'll be harmlessly cleared out once again by Groves. So even the scoring chances, the so-called scoring chances tonight for the Maples, have been relatively easy clears for the Falcons.
Yeah, very benign. Nothing sort of vanilla opportunities, nothing dangerous. And that's a credit to the defense for the Falcons, obviously, as well.
Under a minute now to go. It's offside. Something appears to be too easy. It probably is, and it's more than likely offside. That's kind of my untrained professional opinion on this.
Okay, good. Sounds fine to me. I'll agree with that.
Boy, oh boy. The flock with the na-na-na-na, hey, goodbye. And it was number 12, Maury Miller, who said goodbye. Everyone in attendance here tonight with 2 goals.
Yeah, and Miller gave the lullaby, hand on
99.
the head on the hands thing after that 3rd goal was scored. So, hey, it ain't bragging if you can back it up, right?
And back it up, the Falcons do indeed. Buzzer sounds. Groves comes out onto the pitch to celebrate a 3-0 shutout victory here tonight. And there's your player of the game, Mr. Maury Miller, as his goaltender Hugo Bonifan comes away with the shutout victory. Really impressive stuff here tonight for the Groves Falcons as they give the Seaholm Maples their first loss of the season. The Falcons improved to 4-2-6. The Maples dropped to 5-1-2. We'll take one final quick break here on BACB Sports, but when we come back, our post-match coverage, including our player of the game interview, that's something you do not want to miss. That's coming up next right here on BACB Sports.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Welcome back one final time to Birmingham Seaholm High School. Your final score, the Groves Falcons 3, the Seaholm Maples nothing. Maury Miller, 2 goals tonight, including a penalty kick goal, was really the difference maker here tonight, and he is alongside our very own Andy Aubrey, as he is our BACB Sports Player of the Game.
Well, thanks, Brad. We are down here now with our BACB Sports Player of the Game, Maury Miller, number 12. The big 3-0 win for you guys. Now, we thought you had it taken to you a little bit by them early in this one. 0-0 halftime. You guys came out on fire. What in the world did Coach say to you guys at halftime?
I like to think this is a player-led team, not to take away from our coach, Thomas. Sure. He's amazing. He gave us some great words, mostly to kind of continue the way we'd be playing. I think we played, solid in the first half, not what we expected, but we came out with a lot of energy, more energy than they did, and, that provided us 3 goals.
Yeah, sure did. The third goal was a thing of beauty. I mean, you were about here when that thing went off your foot. Take us through that one.
Yeah, so kind of ball played over the top. I knew I had a few steps on the defender. Felt him coming from my back, and I didn't want to cut it in and bring in the other defenders. So it was played beautifully to my left foot. Had to go for it right over the goalie, and it was amazing.
It was amazing, if you do say so yourself. And I heard you tell the hometown life guy you're right-footed, basically, right? And that was a left-foot kick, so even more impressive. All right, so what's a win like this do for your team now moving forward?
Oh, it's huge. This is, as well as a rivalry game, this is a big league game. We were coming into this game undefeated in the league, and this is hopefully going to give us the momentum it takes to finish it out and come out on top of the OAA White.
Yeah. Well, you've got a lot of great tradition in the game soccer at Groves, and this one's going to go down for you guys because it's a big win. So congratulations to you. Miller, number 12, he's right here. And I told him he's going to be the big man at school tomorrow over this one. So congratulations to the Falcons. We're going to wrap it up from down at field level. We'll send it back up to my partner, Brad, to take us home.
All right, big congratulations goes out to Maury Miller. Big thanks to Andy Aubrey for his analysis here tonight. The very first loss of the season for the Seaholm Maples as they dropped to 5-1-2. Really an impressive victory here tonight for the Falcons. It's their 4th win of the season to go along with 2 losses and those 6 ties. Maury Miller, big game tonight. 2 goals, the difference maker tonight in a 3-0 shutout victory over the Seaholm Maples. Congratulations to the Groves Falcons. We will say so long. One final time from Seaholm High School. Once again, your final score, 3-0. We'll see you next time right here on BACB Sports.